All right, today we're going to dive into the really personal journey of Shelley Jean. It's a story that starts with getting breast implants, moves through this years-long battle with a mysterious illness, and ends up in the world of patient advocacy. And this quote, wow, it really gets to the heart of it all, doesn't it? A surgeon tells her her implants will last forever. But as Shelley would find out, that promise, well, it kicked off a health crisis that would span decades and force her to find the truth on her own.
So let's go back. Where did this all start? Well, our story begins way back in the early 1990s. We're in a high-profile club, and a really powerful desire to just fit in leads to a decision that would completely change the course of her life. Okay, so picture this. At the time, Shelley was working as a dancer in this super elite club, and she was surrounded by women she describes as just stunning, tens. She just wanted to be like them, and for her, that meant getting breast implants. It was her way of feeling like she truly belonged there. So here's a quick look at her timeline. It really maps out the whole thing. She gets that first set of silicone implants in the early 90s. Then in 2012, she has them replaced with a new set. But a decade after that, in 2022, after dealing with all these unexplained health problems, she decided that's it. They're coming out for good. After that second surgery, the one in 2012, that's when things started to go wrong. Really wrong. Shelley's health just began this slow, scary, and totally mysterious decline. And suddenly, her body just started sending out all these crazy signals. Rashes were showing up, her libido was gone, and just a whole list of other problems started popping up. It's a collection of symptoms that, turns out, thousands of women now connect with something called Breast Implant Illness, or BII. But for Shelley, the absolute worst, most debilitating symptom was the severe, terrifying brain fog. So, she's going to doctors trying to get answers, but they're stumped. And because both her mother and grandmother had Alzheimer's, one doctor actually suggested this. Can you even imagine hearing that? Just a completely terrifying explanation for what was happening inside her own mind. But her response? It was a hard nope. She flat out refused to accept it. Her gut, her intuition, was just screaming that this diagnosis was wrong. And that feeling, that deep inner knowing, is what pushed her to keep digging for the real answer. So this search for what was really going on, it all came to a head in the most ordinary place you can imagine. A trip to the grocery store. She literally walks out of the store, and it hits her. This wave of just total confusion. A simple, everyday memory, where she parked her car, was completely gone. The brain fog had become this overwhelming, frightening reality. And it just spiraled from there. One panicked thought after another. Had she closed the refrigerator? Did she remember to put the food away? Did she shut the stove off? Her short-term memory was just failing her. And right there, in that parking lot, feeling totally lost, that was the aha moment. The light bulb went on. Everything, the brain fog, the rashes, all the unexplained symptoms, it all finally clicked into place. She knew with 100% certainty it was her implants. So now that she had her answer, she knew what she had to do. And what happened next? Well, it didn't just change her life. It started to change the lives of the people around her too. So she decided to have her implants removed. The procedure is called explanting, and the change was night and day. She describes it as a huge, remarkable difference in her health. That cloud of symptoms finally started to lift. And check this out, it wasn't just her. Her story started this incredible ripple effect. After Shelley and her friend Laura both explanted and shared what they went through, 6 more of their friends were inspired to do the very same thing. This whole ordeal, this incredibly intense and personal health crisis, it wasn't just the end of a bad chapter. It actually turned into a whole new purpose for her, a mission to make sure other women didn't have to go through this alone. Shelley basically became what's known as a BII advocate. BII, of course, stands for Breast Implant Illness. Her goal is now all about educating and empowering other women with the very information that she had to fight so hard to find for herself. And here's how she does it. It's really a 3-part mission. First, she shares real, authentic stories from other women so they know they're not alone. Second, she backs it all up with science by posting actual research studies. And finally, she puts it all together to help people make truly informed decisions about their own bodies. And it all boils down to this one core message from her.
coming straight from years of pain and discovery. It's a direct, heartfelt plea to others to avoid what she went through and to find a really well-informed doctor if they choose to explant. And so, Shelley's story really makes you think, right? It leaves us with this big, powerful question about who's responsible when a medical promise is broken. It's about patient responsibility, the power of advocating for yourself, and that tough, often lonely search for your own health and your own truth.